guys, today's video is the first video in fractions. We're going to learn about fractions and start to understand fractions a little bit. Now you may have done fractions before and that's okay, but hopefully we can keep adding to that. So what are fractions? So let's look at different fractions. So here we have a pizza and our pizza is cut into 4 parts. Now each part of that is a fraction of the whole pizza. Okay, so we have here a numerator and a denominator. So this is what a fraction looks like. Okay, so we have our numerator on the top and our denominator on the bottom. Now, the denominator, we're going to start here first, is how many parts there could be in total. Then we have what we call the vinculum, which is this middle line that goes above the denominator. And then we say the numerator, which is how many parts we have. So it's how many parts we have out of how many we could possibly have, the total. So in this case, we can have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Okay, so we put our 4 on the bottom and our little vinculum above it. And then we actually have here 4 pieces in total. So we're going to call that 4 out of 4. So we have 4 pieces out of a total of 4. And this is actually a whole. So we know we have our whole pizza here. Now let's do another one. So first we're actually going to start with the numerator. So how many pieces do we have? So here we've lost a piece, which means we have 3 pieces. And again, it's still, we could have 1, 2, 3, 4. Even though we've lost this piece, 4 pieces make up our whole. And that's what we're looking for. How many pieces make up our whole? So we have 3 quarters, 3 out of 4 pieces. Then here we have 1, 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, because 4 make up our whole. So we have 2/4. Now another way we can say this is we have a half. Even though there's 4 pieces, we can simplify these down to 1/2, which we're going to learn to do in another video. And then here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, so 1 piece out of 4. So we have a quarter here. Okay, so let's do some examples where we're going to identify the numerator and the denominator. So here we have 1/8. Now remember, the numerator is how many parts we have, the top value, and our denominator is how many we could possibly have to make up a whole, which is our bottom value. So we have 1 as our numerator and 8 as our denominator. Now I want you to pause it, go and do the next 3 and then come back. Okay, so for this one, 59 hundredths. That's a mouthful. So 59 hundredths means we have a numerator of 59 and a denominator of 100. 4/5, we have a numerator of 4 and a denominator of 5. And 1/3, we have a numerator of 1 and a denominator of 3. So pretty easy to identify our numerator and denominator. Now let's shade in the fraction here. So we want to shade 2/5. So there's 5 parts here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we want to shade 2 parts of those in. So what we should have is 2, 1, 2 out of 5. So pause it now, then come back and see if we've got the same answer as you. Fantastic. So here we've got 3 quarters. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's our quarters. And we want to shade in 3 of them. And then our very last one, which is 5/8, but we have a bit of a funny shape. Now, it's important to note that when we're talking about fractions, each part has to be equal. So even though this is a funny looking kind of shape, each part is equal. So this is the same as this. And this is the same as this and this and this, and they're all the same area. They take up the same amount of space of our whole. So here we have 5/8, which means we're going to shade in 5 parts. Now it doesn't matter whether you shaded in 5 different parts as long as there's 5 shaded in. Fantastic, guys. I hope you've understood that. Again, if you have any questions, make sure you ask. Thanks.